Amiibos! A couple of days ago I got a big box full of a shipment of Amiibos, and I had a few people requesting that I do a bit of an unboxing, so I thought I'd just quickly talk about Amiibos for a bit. I've got the 3 Yoshi's Woolly World and the 4 new Smash Amiibos. Okay, these are very different from the Amiibos we've had before, obviously. They are made out of acrylic wool and the filling is polyester, so they are entirely man-made fibres and such, but what do you expect from a cheap mass-produced product? They're all very much the same. I just get the green one out. Okay, there's Yoshi. I'm gonna leave the blue and the pink ones inside the boxes for now, just for the simple reason that they are made out of fabric and could get dirty, and I'll leave them in there until I've figured out some kind of display for them. So these are, very nice little fabric figures, but they don't look exactly like the model in game. They're quite different, really. I don't know, there's something about the legs that seem a bit thin and a bit wimpy to me, but yeah, I don't know. The only thing that really irks me about these is they don't have any nostrils. Now, I think the Yoshi in-game doesn't have any nostrils either, but for some reason it strikes me as a bit odd. I just think that maybe like 2 little black stitches wouldn't go amiss on the tip of the nose, but yeah. And they've got labels just like soft toys do. Yeah, it's a nice enough figure. I say figure. So that's Yoshi, and he comes in blue and pink, obviously. The only other thing is that I was sort of expecting the colours to be a bit more muted, to be honest, a bit more pastel, but they're quite bright, and I'm not a fan of the green especially. I just think he looks a bit too saturated. Oh well, okay, on to the Smash Amiibos. We'll start with Samus. But yeah. Okay, Samus. So, Zero Suit Samus, one of those figures that's not a lot to it. Like, it's not very bulky, it's just the human figure, and I mean, the problem with this one is that she is mostly stand, but I mean, apart from that, there's not a lot of details in her design. That's the issue. The hair is nicely sculpted, and the face is okay, and if you were wondering, she does have a noticeable butt crack, so I mean, there's that. Okay, Palutena. So Palutena is a much bulkier figure, and there's a lot more to her, a lot more details. My favourite thing is the hair. There's some really great body and details in this. The armour is all decently detailed. The issue being that the hair is probably the most solid thing about her. The little halo is very flexible. Her arm, her staff, flexible. This arm in particular will bend all over the place. So despite being bulky, she's not exactly sturdy. And the I'm not convinced by the semi-transparent painting of the lace on her one stocking. And another thing actually is the face. There's something about the face which I don't like at all. She just looks a bit well, I'll tell you what, if we get Ganondorf out, then I can show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so Ganondorf. This is definitely my favourite figure out of this wave. There's a lot of nice detail here. His cape is, you know, it's pretty flexible, but it looks like a cape. There's a lot of texture in his sleeves and such. The cracked breastplate is, you know, nicely done. There's texture on the pants on his legs. All the armour is finely detailed. And my favourite bit about him, if we can just zoom in on his face, is the face. There's texture on the little ropes on the top of his head, the little halo on the back. You can see sort of the markings for individual hairs on his sideburns. And the face itself is really sculpted. He's got, you know, defined eyebrows, jaw, sort of wrinkles and such. And then that's the issue I have with Palutena's face. If you compare Ganondorf, you know, this sculpted, full of depth face with cheekbones, and then Palutena's got this mostly painted on face with a tiny nose, and it just looks there's no comparison really. Ganondorf is clearly a much better figure in terms of the head, which is, you know, I think that's important. Okay, last up, dark pit. And here's dark pit. Now I don't actually have the regular pit for a comparison. That's quite a rare figure, but you know, there's some nice details here. I especially like the wings, where you can sort of see the texture on the feathers quite clearly. Again, his face is not exactly sculpted, it's sort of the standard Amiibo face, but it's nothing compared to Ganondorf. And yeah, the clothes all sit nicely, and there's creases in his little scarf. And of course, his gun thing is horribly flexible. But you know, all in all, it's okay. So there's the 4 new wave Smash Amiibos. Ganondorf is clearly my favourite. I think second, then Palutena, and my least favourite is probably Zero Suit Samus, just because she is 90% stand, and you know, there's not a lot to it. And at least Pit's got, you know, a decent amount of depth with his little gun thing sticking out. And of course Yoshi, who has no nostrils for God knows what reason. And remember, I make cool little papercraft models of Nintendo characters mostly, so check that out, and you can support me making them on Patreon. Bye bye.